the algorithm, you know?
Yeah,
like
so
a post gets like 8 comments or whatever, like right off the bat like that. Like that's a good thing.
no, for sure. Well, she said you're a piece of trash, to be honest. She DM'd me this. She said you're a piece of trash, to be honest. Why are you trying so hard to fit in? Welcome to this week's episode of the In the Bank podcast. It's a, what's the date today?
The 18th.
It's the 18th.
Saturday of November.
We're away from Black Friday, or a week away from Black Friday.
Yep.
Gonna go to the ASU sorority to celebrate.
Why is there no White Friday?
Huh?
Why is there no White Friday?
There is a White Friday. It's the day before Black Friday. Yeah.
We come first, baby.
Yeah. All right, chill out there. Not a great
I
way
meant
to-
like jizzing, like it was a self-deprecation.
Yeah, well, we gotta, we're gonna have Kyla or whatever her name was come and attack us again.
Yeah, that was fun. I appreciated it. Like that is just by engagement. She's our biggest fan.
No, by far biggest fan.
It was fun. I like that.
Anyway,
And she was nice. Like we shouted her out, and she sent back a fire emoji. Yeah, light the beam.
yeah, like the beam.
She sent back a fire emoji. So I was confused by that because I was expecting like a middle finger when I saw the reaction, you know. But then she was like, "Oh, I'm a part of the thing now." So good for you.
Yeah, that reel obviously turned a lot of heads.
For us at least.
Yeah, I got called an Uncle Tom a few times.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
So I got called. So once again, it hit the wrong audience. This is just the Rittenhouse 2.0, except it's political season, so panties are in a bunch right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually haven't read the comments yet. I've just saw like the previews.
Okay.
So yeah, I just saw a bunch of the previews for the comments. So this is the Vivek Ramaswamy thing. So pretty much, just to kind of sum it up, we had somebody call me a piece of shit multiple times. She DM'd me as well. And then, everyone from India, they called me colonist, enslavement. I got called a slave multiple times. And, listen, I guess, which is fine. I don't care. I guess I need to listen to Osama Bin Laden's podcast or agree with Bin Laden to be a true American. I guess that's the.
I kind of like the implication too that you're my slave. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to imply.
Yeah, they might.
You're trying to fit in or whatever, which is, I kind of like that. It's fun. I've never owned anybody.
I like it too.
Yeah.
I do like that as well.
I mean, we've been, technically, he's been scrubbing my back. He keeps talking about it. That's not a joke.
No,
I don't have to pay him for that either. So
I like to get the calluses off. Yeah. I like to get all the dead skin off. I'm like a fish,
You got to do a better job, though. Like I told you, it's.
I know, but it's like I'm like a fish. I only get so full after I eat so much,
Yeah. There's a lot back there. Just a lot of fucking goop.
Yeah, anyway, well, we obviously had our first big time hater this week.
It's fun.
Yeah, I genuinely enjoyed it. I feel I'm not going to shit on them, but it's it's a little weird if you're that invested in the internet and one reel pisses you off that much.
Yeah, I think, you're just having a bad day. Was it a chick? I don't know. She probably got hit by her fucking husband or something. Who fucking knows?
I don't know what it was, dude.
Well, it's a no picture, anonymous account. It's whatever. I appreciate it helps the algorithm,
Yeah, so
a post gets 8 comments or whatever, right off the bat like that. That's a good thing.
No, for sure. Well, she said you're a piece of trash, to be honest. She DM'd me this. She said you're a piece of trash, to be honest. Why are you trying so hard to fit in? Yeah. Now, I don't think people understood that it was a fucking joke. So I just DM'd her. I was like, "Hi, Kyla. Thanks for the concern. Wanted to be clear. That's the podcast bits. We are all just joking and riffs. These are nothing serious. We are having fun. I'm not political." So I wanted to just clean that up for her just in case she tried to find my LinkedIn. All right.
She told us to get a job too.
Yeah,
That's fun. We have jobs, which is nice.
yeah. I mean, we're doing okay.
Unfortunately, we have jobs, honestly, but whatever.
Yeah, that's the craziest one to me when people complain on social media telling you to get a job. It's like, dude, we're fine. Like
it's
we're
whatever.
okay.
Like I like that one because it's just so clearly like it's like, oh, I already do. Like
Yeah.
when they're like, you fucking suck, you're not funny. It's like that's like
Yeah. What else? I think she said my parents hate me. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure your parents hate you.
Maybe.
You're
yeah.
still a slave. You're nothing more than a white slave. Wait, am I the slave now?
I
think her syntax.
I think we both
her
might
syntax is wrong there. Yeah, like, get a job.
Such a shame.
So I guess I'm not the slave driver. That's kind of a bummer. I don't like this person as much anymore. LLL. Yeah.
If you want to come on the podcast, we'll be more than happy to call you in for a few minutes.
Yeah, I'd love to chat for a little bit, do a little caller thing. It'd be fun. Yeah, send us, if you see this, if you're still checking us out, maybe you're a new fan now, because we send us a DM if you want to come on. Like, I'd love to have you on. What do you think this person thinks about Bin Laden?
Dude, oh my God, dude.
I love a dumb piece of shit. I love a big fat dummy on the fucking internet.
I mean, there's nothing more American or more morally correct than referring to a piece of literature done by Osama Bin Laden. Clearly, I mean, I must be out of the loop. I would think it's fucked up, but I actually haven't read the letter per se. I don't even know what he's talking about.
It's 8 pages long. It's fucking. It's a beast of a thing, and and really like 2 pages are what's being talked about, but like the thesis of it is like what you would expect. It's like if you're not an Islamic extremist, like you're doing things wrong. And it's like just advocating for Islamic extremism, and that's why I attacked America, is because your way of life is evil. And so everyone's like on there like, oh, like we are evil, even though they like stone
women.
They stone women. Like it's a bunch of like women, like ethnic fat women who come on this. Also whites too, but
yeah,
just like are probably some sort of gender queer thing, which, you know, I don't care. You know who does? Osama Bin Laden. Osama Bin Laden really cares if you're like that, and you get stoned in his worldview. And they're like, oh, this is really good. It's weird. It's like, you know what's self-hating is that.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, yeah, I mean, the fact that women are agreeing with this is the most wild part to me. I'm guessing this letter resurfaced because of what's happening in Israel Palestine right now.
I would assume that's the case. Yeah.
All right. So I mean, let's I guess just kind of pull up an article.
Just read it. So this is on Rolling Stone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of articles about it, obviously, but I just picked this one because I like the Rolling Stones. But just read it. My eyes have been opened. Read our existence for filth, and he did not miss. Oh my God. The clip itself went viral with other young TikTokers sharing the letter approvingly, encouraging followers to read it. We've been lied to our entire lives. I remember watching people cheer when Osama was found and killed. I wonder why. Wrote a 25-year-old user who posted the letter full. I was a child and it confused me. It still confused me to this day. The world deserves better. This is just dipshits. Like, it's so stupid. Like, you're so stupid. You know what it is, too? It's like, I think it's like all these, you see all these like weirdos. So I lived with a guy in college, one of my roommates, I think my sophomore year. He was a weird guy. Like, I think I told you about him. Like, I would walk in on him, like watching porn, and it was like tentacle porn. Like, that happened like 5 times. It was like enough. And then like he would also like read like Harry Potter fan fiction that was like sexual.
Okay. Yeah.
He was an odd critter, right?
And
all over his side of the room. So like my side of the room was like your typical like 20-something. I had like a Guinness flag up because like, oh, beer's cool. I'm in college, right? And then it's like douchey, right? Mm-hmm. Probably. But then his side of the room, it's like you've got like the Joker, who's a serial killer. And it's like all these weird, like bad people on his wall. Mm-hmm. And I think people are like watching too many movies where the bad guy is cool. And so it's like Osama's cool, but he's real.
No, the thing is, I think sure. I mean, you can come at it at that angle. I just think the thing is, people try so hard to be a little too woke.
That's it too. It's like the mixture of those two things.
It's like they want to, like, I understand if like Bin Laden says like, yeah, like the pork is gross. You can be like, yeah, sure, I agree with that, right? But it's like you can't. The guy who killed multiples and thousands of innocent American lives on 9/11, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of different ways you can show your support for Palestine than by saying Bin Laden was a good guy.
Yeah, so it's writing a year after 9/11. Bin Laden noted in his message he was seeking to answer two questions. Why were we fighting and opposing you? What are we calling you to do? And then, the first section is about Israel-Palestine. Creation and continuation of Israel is one of the greatest crimes, and you are the leaders of its criminals. Each and every person whose hands have become polluted in the contribution towards this crime must pay its price and pay for it heavily. Yeah, okay. Fucking Jesus Christ. That's so mad. I also, you get all these, this is who I went to college with. Like, I talked last week about my college experience, and I was an English major for part of it. And you go to English classes, and you get these, fucking dipshits who are like, man, this was so well written. I saw a bunch of TikToks that were like, it was so well written, this letter. It was like, this is raving nonsense. These are the highlights, and it's just the American people are the ones who pay the taxes to fund the planes that bomb us in Afghanistan. Oh my God! So
it's like a pummeling is what these guys are
saying. This is fucking stupid, bro. This is like when people talk about late stage society. This is what they're talking about. Just we've gotten too far. We have too many comforts, and it's just this is sad. This is not good. But is it just have there always been dipshits like this and now they just have a camera?
I don't think we've ever gotten to a point as low where we are supporting Osama bin Laden. Now, actually, I don't know if you remember during the pandemic when Deshaun Jackson quoted Hitler.
I do remember that. Yep.
Yeah, so there was that whole incident. I just think people. If you want to prove a point about Israel, Palestine, and what's happening,
right?
There are pictures of babies being killed. There are videos of, things being blown up, innocent lives being taken away. But it's not really. You're not really winning any moral argument when you quote something from famous CS:GO and porn advocate Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, it's like trying to be edgy. It's like edgy woke.
No, it's just retarded. It's a mental illness.
It's
a mental illness.
Smart. It's just it's a very sad. I don't like usually this shit's kind of funny, but just reading some of these, man, is just it's and then they're like, so why'd you remove the letter to America?
All right, now that I'm actually curious about is why the Guardian actually decided to remove the letter after.
TikTok removed the hashtag as well. Which is crazy because they're they probably just put it out there and then removed it,
Mm-hmm.
TikTok's fucking China, which is a whole nother the conference in San Fran right now. But thankfully they can't wipe our memories and undo our further radicalization. Jesus Christ. Usually radicals don't call themselves radical. You know what I mean? That's why I think you're just trying to be edgy because people I don't think Al Qaeda would be we're radical. I don't think that's how they would describe themselves. But if you want to be edgy, you're oh, I'm radical. I'm radical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's just a bunch of I think it's people who it's just late stage society. We've had it too good for too long and people don't understand.
I would love to see Sharia law implemented in the United States.
I wouldn't.
I would just to show just to show some of these idiots who agreed with Bin Laden what their life would really look like if. So for one,
I mean, I'd be fine. Probably.
You would not.
I'd have
fine.
to convert.
You'd have to convert. Yeah, you'd be fine if you converted.
Yeah, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I could be like Dana White's cool with them.
Yeah.
I'd just be like
With
Dana
this-
White.
Yeah.
I'd just show up and hang out. I'd wear the little thing,
Yeah.
that they all wear in Saudi Arabia. I'd convert. I'd be fine.
The perspective of a woman, because it is women who tend to do this shit, because at the end of the day, it just comes to attention seeking. I would love to see, because the good thing about Sharia law is women won't be able to drive anymore, which I think will...
That would help. We'll just get cars off the fucking freeway
Yeah.
in the first place. That'd be awesome.
Well, even if you wanted to double up the cars, I mean, traffic would just move significantly smoother.
Right.
Just
Well, like when you're getting on an on-ramp and everyone's like just stopped on it and you're like, why can't we just go? There's one lane on this thing.
Yeah.
It's always a woman at the front of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just going like, can I get in? And then just everyone's backed up behind her, just fucking want to hit that horn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think there should do this big cultural experience, because I think some of these people do need a culture shock and need to understand, kind of what Sharia law really looks like. Now, in terms of the war, I'm not gonna pick a side here. I don't, I
Right. No, we're not touching that with a 10-foot pole. We're not doing Israel Palestine. We're just not gonna do it.
Yeah. So how about them? But I don't know, man. What do you think their parents would think about this, or like what environment did they have to grow up in where
I don't know. It's I don't know. But what I will say, like you were saying, right? Like you'd like to see these people sort of understand what it's like under Sharia law. But I think they're like I think they don't understand. Like you're saying, like they think people like me would be the ones stoned. It's them. Like I'd be fine. Like like everyone was saying, you're self-hating. Like this is self-hating. If you are if you are a LGBT anything and you're at one of these pro-Palestine rallies, like you hate yourself.
Yeah. Quoting Bin Laden about American rights, it's like quoting Hitler about, Jewish freedom.
Yeah.
Or like Joseph Stalin about like a nutritional diet. Or like Kim Jong-un about individual liberty.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, well, dude.
Or like Biden about mental competence. Like, it's not.
Dude, I saw something about Biden, and it was a disabilities website, and they were like, if you have disabilities, you can be successful too. Joe Biden is disabled, and he's the president. I didn't know if they were kidding or if they were like real. Like if it was like a dunk on Biden, or if they were like, this is great that our president's disabled. They said it like like some disabilities like coalition or whatever. It was hilarious.
No, I am really excited for election time right now. Because this is when people are going to be really tensed up. So this is like kind of the best time to really provoke.
Yeah.
Get reactions out of people.
Heel turn.
Yeah, I mean, when I grew up in California, it was leading up to the Trump election. You saw a lot of people. They just became very on edge about everything, and that was kind of that big transition into, no, we need to be accepting of everything. This is going to be one of the best times if you are in high school, if you are in college, right, to get laid. Just agree with every crazy liberal policy, a girl would mention to you. This is gonna be your ideal picking. So wait, what is actually next in the election cycle? Now is just gonna be voting for the primaries and stuff like that.
They just did a midterm, and I think actually that like the Democrats won it, or at least that's what the story was. I don't know. I didn't vote. Sorry, but they just had a midterm. I think they're going into like primaries and stuff now. They're doing the debates, the primary debates, I think, right? That's why we talked about Vivek. I like him, and I like Kennedy, but no one good's going to win. It's just going to be two geriatric psychos.
Trump first.
Yeah.
Well, Trump's having his case right now. He's still like having
I saw a Tim Dillon clip this morning, and I was like laughing. He was like, It's like, remember when they started with the Trump thing? And it was like, he's colluding with Russia and he's fucking doing all this shit. And he's like, 5 years later now, it's just like, he said his thing was $39 million. And it's not, it's only 28. And he was like, that's a powder room, not a bathroom. And everyone was mad about it. And he's like, we're not going to mention all the like Epstein stuff with Bill Clinton. Like he was honest about his assets. It was just so fucking funny.
I wonder what that reaction is going to look like if Trump, well, honestly, Trump's probably going to win at this point. I wonder what that reaction is going to look like again. Because I don't know, 2016, it was very crazy.
Oh, yeah. People were very upset. I mean, I talked about it last week, what it was like in the Bay experiencing that. Like California was talking about seceding, or at least the citizens were, the state wasn't, but they wanted to secede. Like it was crazy. And I think it's weird, man. But like the last one was crazy too. Like the people on the right were like, they stole the election, and then they, you know, the fucking guy with the elk hat, you know, posted up in the speaker. Apparently they released those tapes finally. I haven't watched them.
Of like the actual Capitol stormings?
I think, yeah, because like they didn't release them for a while, and then like people on the right were like, you should release them because it shows that it wasn't as bad as people thought it was. And then
Was it bad?
I haven't seen them. I have no fucking idea.
Okay.
I don't know if they were actually released. I just saw a tweet that said they were finally released. Could be a load of bullshit. I'm talking out my ass right now.
Yeah, I mean it's the same coin on both sides. It's the same thing on people who go to protests on one side. Like storming the Capitol probably had to be the lowest of the lows. If you're talking about protests and like destruction done on both sides, if we're just ranking like how pathetic you had to be, to join a certain protest, right? Like which is the most? Let's actually frame it this way: which is the most pathetic protest that you actually had to go out and join? I think number one is probably the storming the Capitol.
Yeah.
Number two is probably anything regarding like if you're like a vegan, right? Like if you're like going to block traffic and sit on roads.
You're in PETA.
Yeah. If anything you involve yourself there, and I think that's probably number two.
The one I hate the most is people like destroying art. Like paintings. Have you seen those?
They take the bucket and
like bucket of paint, or like they try and punch a hole through it or something.
Nah.
Yeah, I hate that one. That one to me is the worst one because it's stupid.
My favorite videos on the internet are like when you see the environmental protesters who are blocking traffic and someone gets like a hose and starts spraying them.
Yeah.
Those are some of the greatest videos you can find on the internet.
Well, that was the old like Martin Luther King. Like they hosed those people.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a Birmingham march, I think. They hosed those people like with a fucking fire truck.
Oh my god!
And they like sick dogs on them too, I think.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
During the "I Have a Dream" protest.
That was in D.C.
Okay.
A different one. So he marched on the Lincoln Memorial with a bunch of people and did the "I Have a Dream" from the foot of the Lincoln Monument. And then I'm pretty sure that was at Lincoln. I Have a Dream, Lincoln, right? Yeah, Lincoln Memorial. Beautiful. And there's a little, I've been there. There's a little thing, like a little star, like you know how the Hollywood stars.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a star, but it's like a little plaque. It's like Martin Luther King stood here when he did the thing.
You can click on a button and like water comes sprays you.
Right. But then he did a bunch of these, obviously, because he's big boys with your boy Gandhi. Actually, he was Gandhi was his inspiration. But one of them was in Birmingham, and that's the one where they hosed the shit out of people, and then the cops like had the canine units come out and try to it was not good.
I did not know it was that bad. I thought it was just we didn't get taught that in school, dude. Or maybe we did. I just didn't pay attention.
You might not have paid attention.
I probably didn't pay attention.
So this is a photo. This is them getting hosed right here. That guy's like pinned to the wall by that. I mean, look at that water pressure. That hurts like a mother. These are high school students from a fire hose. Yeah, so they got the fucking fire department out there just hosing people off. It's crazy.
There's probably someone burning in their house too at that current fucking moment.
Right.
It was like, hold on.
Some old lady's got a heart attack.
It's like, hold on, we got something more important to do real quick. Get off the property. Dude.
Yeah, imagine being that guy, like at the top of the thing with the hose, just like fucking just people moving.
You play that Call of Duty where you're Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first one where you're like in the plane and you're like dropping bombs and you have to like avoid the church.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, same thing. You just gotta avoid the white guys. That's how you play it.
No Russian. Did you play Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah.
Oh, the plane?
Huh?
On not the plane, the airport.
Yeah, that's a crazy mission, dude. That's probably what the school shooter plays right before they go.
I was gonna say, if I'm ever having a bad day, I just flip that baby on.
That's a crazy statement. That's
no Russian.
Yeah, now the FBI that's probably an FBI.
I mean,
we're on the
listen,
FBI watch
I'm
list.
already on that list. I'm a mid-20s white guy.
Yeah,
we're all school shooters apparently.
No, I don't think. No. To get on that list, I think one. All right, describing a school shooter, it's one, yeah, white.
Yep.
You have to wear like really baggy jeans. I've never seen.
Mine are pretty tight.
Yeah, I've never seen a school shooter wear skinny jeans.
I wouldn't say they're skinny.
No, I'm just saying, but I've never seen a school shooter wear like they never worn anything that's like well fit. You know what I mean? That like complements their scrawny frame, right?
Yeah.
A lot of black. You're wearing
black,
a big black coat, some skinny jeans. Got to be a little leather on the shoes.
Hot Topic, right? Is that store?
Is Hot Topic a leather store?
I think it's like you if you wanted a hoodie with that was like had a pentagram on it. I think you go to Hot Topic.
Okay. I don't know if they wear the pentagram. I don't know if these guys are like religious like that.
Yeah.
No, I take that back. They are religious, but they're like
satanic.
Yeah. No, they're not by definition you can call them Satanists, but they don't actually practice Satanism.
Right. They're not,
They're not Doja Cat.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not.
They
don't have a little squirrel that they dissect and
no. Well, okay, so like when Ted Bundy was like killing animals and shit, was he like was he doing this because of Satanism or was he doing it?
I think that's just a sign of. They say like if you kill animals when you're a kid, it's like that guy's probably a sociopath.
No. That's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, when like Ted Bundy and like when these guys did all that, like or like when anyone does like weird shit, like Ted Bundy for example, right? Like, are they doing it in the name of like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm a Satanist, or they're doing it just because they're a weirdo?
I think it's just they're weirdos.
That's what I'm saying. Because I've never seen like after like those reports come out, I've never seen like a school threat.
Yeah.
Right. Like say I did this because I'm a Satanist. It's like some weird shit. Like I did this because I need to like. Their excuse is like some weird shit. Like, oh, I'm doing it to cleanse America. Like something really fucking weird, or they're just really mentally ill. Right.
Well, it's weird. Yeah. Like some of these guys. Do you know who Jim Jones is?
That name sounds so familiar.
He was a cult leader.
Okay, no, never mind that.
So he is a like super common name, but and then there's a guy in Waco. I forget what his name was, but like they both led these cults, and they were both like sociopath, like serial killers. But they were so charismatic, they got all these people to join these cults. And Jim Jones is the one where like the drink the Kool-Aid phrase comes from. He got all these people to drink Kool-Aid to poison themselves and kill themselves. Like, and they had to leave America to go down. They were in San Francisco. To leave America, they like went to Argentina because he was in trouble with like the law for evading taxes and shit. So he went to Argentina, created this community, and then they brought a congressman came and visited the community because some people were like, "We're fucking hostages here. Like, we need you to come help us." And so a congressman came to the compound to visit and see what was going on, and like try and negotiate. People who want to leave, they can leave. And he killed the congressman. Lost his mind and was like, we're fucked now. I just killed a U.S. congressman. So like he made everyone drink the Kool-Aid, and the people who didn't got like gunned down. And so they went and found the place, and just bodies everywhere.
Wow. Did Jim Jones ever end up killing himself?
Yeah, he killed himself during the thing. I think he had someone shoot him. He didn't drink the Kool-Aid. and then there's the guy in Waco, Texas. I forget his name, but he had one, and they like got into war with like the National Guard. They like had this compound, and they were trying to break into it. It was like they were literally had like a siege of this building, and they had all these guns and stuff, and they would fire on U.S. Coast Guard and like soldiers and shit.
Not a smart idea.
Yeah, and so like I think they hit and maybe killed some like U.S. troops defending their compound or whatever, and he convinced them that like the government was Satan and that it was the end of the world, and so we needed to fight against the powers of Satan, which is the government, so Jesus can come and take us to heaven.
Yeah, so going back to the Satan point, I've never actually seen, like, we will call anyone who does something that evil like from Satan or whatever.
Right.
I've never actually seen somebody aside from like a musician
Yeah.
be like, I'm doing this in the name of Satan.
Like Satanist.
Yeah.
Like Satan.
Like,
you know what I mean?
the only two artists who like openly are like Satanists are Doja Cat and Playboy Cardi.
I don't know who Playboy Cardi is.
He's like the mumble rapper.
There's a lot of those. I'm not
He did the Millie Rock.
Okay.
In New York, I'm Millie Rock.
Yeah, I know
in my song.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But
He's that kind of guy too.
yeah, he became a Satanist, and he used to be like a skater type of dude. He became a Satanist.
Yeah, he's got like eyeshadow. You think he paints his nails?
Oh no, for sure he does. He has like lip piercings and stuff.
He's got a grill in. If I wish I could pull off a grill. I think I'd be.
No.
I couldn't, which is why I don't have one. If I could,
Yeah.
iced up
Yeah. You put an iced up grill in your mouth.
and fucking chain.
You look like Jelly Roll. You know who that is?
Yeah, yeah. Does he wear a grill?
He probably does.
I look like Jelly Roll. Get the tattoos on my face. Does he have teardrops? Doesn't that mean you killed?
I don't know. Listen, I like Jelly Roll. I like Post Malone. I think they're very talented artists, but like I would not want to be in her. They both look like they smell.
Yeah, I don't know much about Jelly Roll. I just know he wrote that one song. But Post Malone's cool. But I agree. Like, there's something about tattoos on your face.
Yeah,
That's just kind of alarming.
Yeah, like I
Maybe
wouldn't.
that's me.
No. It's you are more than correct to. Like, listen, this whole idea that we can't fucking stereotype people before we meet them is absolutely silly.
Right.
It's incredibly silly. All right. I guess that's why fucking everyone loves Bin Laden now, because you're not allowed to stereotype people.
Right.
If somebody comes in if someone knocks on my door, they have a bunch of tattoos on their face, and I am going to call the cops. I'm not going to attempt to talk to them. I have the thing where I can, I can look through my phone and see the doorbell. I have the Ring thing, or the cheaper version, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even attempt to talk to them on the doorbell. I'm calling the cops immediately. I'll set the sirens off myself. Louis C.K. had a very famous, I think he had an SNL opener where
he's the chicken across the road.
No, not that one, but then he's like the mildly racist.
Oh, yeah.
So mine's not in terms of race, but like if I see a kid in the back of class wearing all leather, head down, a droopy beanie over his head, looks like he's not sleeping, I'm probably not going to sit next to him, right? Or if I am sitting next to him, I'm going to be looking at his backpack every couple minutes, right? Like I'm going to be the person who saves this fucking classroom,
There was so the Louis C.K. one I'm talking about. He's like,
was.
He's like, oh, you know it? Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's like
he's a black guy coming his way, and he had to get over. It's like it's not because he thought anything, but
he ate the chicken.
Yeah.
No, the one I'm talking about. He's like, he grew up in the '70s, and the best he can do is be mildly racist.
Yeah.
That's
a good one too.
So that's the one I'm talking about. It's like, dude, if you're not. Like,
it's like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
There's a guy in a hoodie. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, like
just to think it. You're like, there's nothing wrong about this. You're sitting there like, yeah, I'm good. I'm okay.
And you know what? You got to look at a city like San Francisco, and they don't judge anybody.
Right.
They just leave their car windows open for people to go snoop around it, right? They don't judge people. If someone's wearing a hoodie and a mask, they're protecting themselves against COVID. They're not trying to steal your backpack out of your car.
Yeah.
So they're,
Well, I went on a ride along with a cop up there when I was living there, and he was talking about this a little bit. He was just like, he's like, we're not supposed to profile or whatever, but he's like, if I see some dude, regardless of race or whatever, in a wife beater, he's got tattoos on his face, and his fucking pants are around his ankles, like, I'm gonna, follow that guy for a little bit, just see what he's up to. Like, he's like, I would be a bad cop if I didn't check that out. Like, there's no way that guy's up to any good.
Yeah, well,
and he's like, I'd rather know that I'm wrong as opposed to just like let him go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If they're wearing a robber mask, it's not because they're trying to rob a building. They're trying to slow down the curve.
Yeah.
They're trying to clean up. Well, in San Francisco right now, car robberies are so bad. You have to leave your car completely empty.
Yeah.
And then the night, you put down all your windows. You unlock your glove compartment. You just take out all the legal stuff.
Yeah.
And then you also leave your trunk unlocked. And
yeah.
pretty much the reason people do that is like they look, they know people are going to come look through your shit through the night.
Yeah.
Because you have to park on the public roads there. But they just don't want a broken window, which I totally get. I wouldn't want to wake up.
Right.
It's just a bigger hassle. So they leave everything unlocked, which I mean, and I don't know why this is such a big problem in San Francisco.
I'll tell you.
All right.
So, same cop I went on the ride along with. Really good guy. I won't say his name just because being a cop is controversial now, but really good guy. He was, so we pulled up on this guy and he was in a stolen car. And what they were doing was stealing cars from the airport, like the rent-a-car place.
Okay.
So they just sort of, because all the homeless in San Jose live around the airport. It's there's the airport and then it's like a camp around it. It's insane. And then, so they would go into at night, just go in, hotwire a car and drive it over the little things and break the tires and give a fuck. And they just drive it, steal it, and drive to the homeless camp, and like lift it for a bunch of parts, sell the parts, and then like the cops would just find the car the next morning. You know what I mean? And they didn't give a fuck about like the tires or anything. So found a guy in a stolen car. He was asleep. And just like fuck and just completely asleep. They knocked on the door. He was still like he was completely like drugged out. And so they finally get him to wake up and they're like, "Hey, you're in a stolen car. Like what's going on?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I took it from the airport." Like, that's crazy. And so they searched the car and they found like a bunch of, it was the first time I ever seen meth. Like he pulled out a meth and he like had the pipe and he was like, one of the other guys, it wasn't the one I was riding with, but his partner was like, "Hey kid, you ever seen meth before?" And I was like, no. He's like, "Here you go, come check it out." And so I was like, so like, what's his day look like? I was asking the guy after the whole stop and everything. He's like, "It's bullshit, man." And this was during COVID too. He's like, "So what happens is we're going to get this guy on possession." And it was like an amount that was federal, right? Like it was too much. He had way too much. It wasn't like a minor possession. I think meth is like a class, whatever, where it's always federal. But anyways, so we got him for that. And we got him for being in a stolen car. I'm not saying we like I did anything, but and he was like, they're just going to let him take a shower, feed him, and then turn him away because the state is more concerned with inmates getting COVID than they are with, and so and so he's like, "It's bullshit, man." He's like, "My job right now is just catch and release. Like I catch them, bring them in, give them a shower. So it's like they almost want to be caught because they get free dinner and a shower.
Yeah, and
they just get sent away." And Gavin Newsom's like fucking slicking his hair back like a big fucking douchebag. Santa Clara alum. Fuck you. But anyway, so that's what was happening. And that's still kind of the case. Like that just never really stopped. Like even though COVID's not a huge deal anymore to most people, like it's still very just like, it's not 100% catch and release anymore, but it's like a lot of these things, like I think CVS or Walgreens, one of the two, is moving.
CVS.
Yeah, they're out of San Francisco now because people just go in, steal their shit, and the police just can't do anything. It's not like the police are bad at their jobs. It's the district attorney won't prosecute anyone. It is because they're a fucking liberal district attorney. and then the mandate is just like we're just not going to hold anyone. Like we're not going to try anyone for doing illegal shit.
Yeah,
and then they clean it all out when fucking Chinaman comes. I just called him Chinaman. That's racist. But G is his name. G Pingling or whatever. Fucking
G Ting Wang.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve me to not call him Chinaman, but he is. Yeah, G. He comes in and they clear out the homeless like in 24 hours. And it's just fucking.
Hey asshole, get out here!
Yeah, it's just nuts, that place. But I feel like we talk about San Francisco every fucking week. But
no, we talked about it last week. We haven't talked about them before.
Okay. This place is a fucking shithole, and that's why people are like my buddy. When we were in college, he got his car broken into. He had subwoofers in there.
That's not.
That was So those things got lifted. But they broke his window to get in there, and that's what he was most mad about. He's like, man, if you really wanted them, you could have just knocked on my door. I would have given them these. Like, just don't break my fucking window. Like, this is ridiculous. And he was, obviously it's scary too. Like someone breaks into your car. It's like it was right under our apartment. It's kind of spooky.
No, for sure. I mean, yeah, insane. My bad. No, actually, not my bad.
A little footsie here?
Yeah, a little kneesy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whoa. Well, so the only way you're able to get somebody arrested in San Francisco if they break in your car is if you drive a Prius. Yeah, because then it's like, I'm trying to save the environment here. This is hurting my cause to end global warming. Mm-hmm. Now I have to, because the Prius isn't fully hybrid, now I have to waste some more gas money, right? This hurts the Native Americans.
Yeah.
This is a racist city. We need someone more liberal in.
Yeah, dude.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It's the same process. You start from the beginning, it goes to the end. It's this exact same process where it's like you need to have a Prius. You can't have a Tesla anymore because like Elon is probably viewed worse than Bin Laden now at this point. So
depending who you talk to, I'm sure. Yeah.
This is inspiring. Yeah. It's so inspiring. This is so inspiring.
It's so well written. That's what, just because I love, like, I was an English major. Like, I love reading. I love writing. I love writing argumentative things. Mm-hmm. Like, it helps my brain. I just do it for fun sometimes.
Yeah.
And so just some fucking dipshit going like, Osama Bin Laden writ this so well. It just made me angry. Like, just like an artistic anger. You know what I mean?
Well, did Bin Laden write it? He probably wrote it in like Arabic,
right?
And then someone translated from him. And so I don't know if you actually know this. Bin Laden's family is very wealthy in Saudi Arabia. They damn near built Saudi Arabia.
Like his going back, like his parents,
and
stuff like that.
Even his brothers and his parents, like that whole family built Saudi, and then he was the cuckoo one. So he kind of went away. He was family of like a rich kid.
Okay.
He was a rich kid. He went kind of cuckoo, and then he became, I think the word he calls himself is a freedom fighter, and then what TikTokers in the United States call him a patriot.
Yeah.
So he completely distanced himself from the family. The Russell Peters had a phone call with Bin Laden's brother before.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
You know that thing that Ari Shaffir hosts, the I can't believe this is happening right now, where like he'll get
it's like a real story.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Russell Peters' whole story was when he went to Saudi Arabia, he got to talk to Bin Laden's brother on the phone. He did a private show for all the princes in Saudi Arabia, and then one of the guys like, "Do you want to talk to Bin Laden's brother?" And he's like, "Hell yeah!" And he talked to Bin Laden's brother, and apparently the dude sounds like just white as felt. If you even go on, you don't have to actually pull it up. But if you go on Google, like some of the Bin Laden family like lives in Texas. Really? Yeah, like they're here, they're chilling. Like it was just Bin Laden, and I think obviously like his kids, you got to be a little worried about and stuff. But like some of his brothers, dude, they're chilling and like
they're just normal guys.
They're probably at Whataburger right now, dude, just in Texas.
Wow. The The Bin Laden family has ties to Texas. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. We don't need to do that right now. But that's crazy.
No, like there's some guys that live in Texas. There's probably a couple live in San Francisco. They're viewed as moguls there.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's like
I was such a fan of your brother. I was such a fan of his work.
that's like so like in America.
Uh-huh.
So like if you're in that part of the world, right? Your family member becomes radical, like a radical religious person. It's like, oh, they're fucking a terrorist now. But now it's just like they come in, there's some born again Christian. They want you to get baptized again. Like that's. I wonder if it's like the same. Like, oh God, like he's fucking. We're at Christmas. He's gonna like want us all to pray before we eat and shit. And it's like.
Oh, Bin Laden, Bin Laden's family converted.
It's like he comes over for Ramadan or whatever it is, and then he's just like, all right, everyone, like we need to do this exactly. And they're like, oh fuck,
Mahmoud, it's been a while. I don't go by Mahmoud anymore. It's Jerry.
Relax.
It's Jerry.
Or like if you're in a Jewish family and one of them's Orthodox, you know, and he's like, or Passover, we can't have anything that tastes good. We're all just gonna sit here and read the thing, and everyone's like, oh my God, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm allergic to that. Let's not have that for the I know we can't have that for Thanksgiving. I can't. Oh, dude, fuck. That's Yeah, well, so that's Bin Laden's whole entire story, and you know, obviously, I'm guessing parts of his family probably did join him, like his sperm.
Like his kid was there at the compound when he died.
Did he get smoked?
Yeah, I think everyone there got smoked.
No,
except the women and children.
Yeah. No, I think a couple of children they probably killed like one or two kids.
I think if anyone, I think the rules of engagement are you can't kill women and children unless they are aiming a gun at you or go for a weapon. So like, if you're a Navy SEAL, you kick down the door, right? You got your fucking night vision on.
Yeah.
And you see some lady and she's like this, and then she like goes for something fast. I think you're allowed to do it because she could be going for a gun. But if you open the door and she's like here and then like doesn't do anything, you can't shoot her. I think that's like the Geneva Convention or whatever.
I think there was I know one of the big things they were worried about were suicide bombings when they were raiding the compound.
Yeah.
So I think that was why. I think that's why they even shot Bin Laden, because they thought he just had a suicide vest on himself and he was just going to kill everybody in there.
I think part of it too is I think the guys who were there were under the assumption it was a one-way trip. Like they were going in to kill him, and it was likely they wouldn't be coming home, sort of deal. And so it was like we can't try and take this guy hostage because if they get us and he gets rescued, I think they thought he had a lot more security than he actually did.
Yeah.
So they were like, we're just gonna go in, fucking get him dead, and then if we get out, we get out, sort of deal. I think it was part of it too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a terrifying mindset to go into.
Yeah, like some of the guys. Well, there's like 5 guys who say they shot Bin Laden, you know, and there's a couple of them who are more likely than they did. I don't know, but one of them like told the story. He's like, yeah, we all like wrote our letters because I guess if you're in the like if you're a combat guy in the military, you all have like this letter that you're ready for your family to get if something bad happens, sort of deal. Like they all write it preemptively.
Yeah,
and so they all like before they went in were making sure that like those are ready to go because they knew it was gonna, or they assumed it was gonna be like. Not a two-way trip sort of deal.
Wow. So
he just had less security than they thought he did because they assumed it's like this is Osama bin Laden, like he's gonna be packing, and it's like he just wasn't like he just was hiding.
So it was just his family, right?
It was like his family, probably had like a couple guys, you know.
Yeah. So he had. Well, I know there was definitely a couple of people. Right. I think one of them was like one of his like older to younger sons.
Yep.
Right. That had the gun. I'm trying to just remember from like what I remember from Zero Dark 30.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. Oh, phenomenal movie.
Such a good movie.
Well, so he was hiding in the compound. I know he was in the caves too.
I don't know. That was like the rumor for a long time. So I remember when I was a kid. And whenever it would come up, it'd be like, that was a joke. He's like out there somewhere in a cave. But I don't know.
No, he was in a cave. A reporter went out and saw him there. So, yeah, they blindfold the reporters, and then they'll take them, and they drive the reporter. There's a very famous Bin Laden interview, and he's in a cave. He's in a cave, and he's talking about, you know, what happened and why he kind of did a lot of what he believes in. So
is that it's the interview version of this letter?
I don't know. I mean, I don't praise the guy. I'm not hip enough to do it.
I'm not cool enough to like Bin Laden.
Yeah, I'm not.
So
I'm
fucking weird.
just not woke enough to like Bin Laden, dude. It's not. But yeah.
I'm sure he had multiple spots.
So he had protection from. I think he had protection from Afghanistan, and then he also had protection from Pakistan. He was killed in Pakistan, right? Or was he killed in Afghanistan? I think he was killed in Afghanistan, but I think the caves were in Pakistan.
This is saying he was killed in Abbottabad, Pakistan.
Oh, he was killed in Pakistan.
Abbottabad, Pakistan. Well, that's why people were so mad about the fucking war, because like they were like, oh, we're going over there to get Bin Laden and Al Qaeda, and it's like, no, you're going there to get oil. He wasn't even in fucking
Iraq.
Yeah.
Well, we did that to kill Saddam Hussein.
Right. I'm just saying, like, and then the Afghanistan too has been. It's just that's why people are mad about it. I'm not saying whoever's right or whatever, but just like he was in Pakistan, and that's when people were like, why the fuck are we over there?
Yeah. Even if we went to Afghanistan, that would have been a better fucking guess, bro. But we had to go to.
Yeah. Well, it was just oil, you know.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and then they wanted to killing Saddam was. I'm not going to get into this. Killing Saddam Hussein was one of the. And whoever the guy for Libya was, I forgot his name. Killing both of those. Yeah, killing Gaddafi especially was one of the stupidest things the United States has ever done.
Well,
they had a fine and functioning country, and
did we?
Yeah, we killed him. He was in the hole.
Saddam was hanged, right?
Yeah.
Would we do that? I feel like that's. Or was he?
No, he was hanged by
Iraq.
Something like that. So, yeah, it was Gaddafi.
Gaddafi we did kill.
Yeah, and that was the big mistake the United States made. Because that had detrimental effects to their country, to their people.
Right. I mean, he wasn't great either. I don't know. That was just a mess there, man.
Yeah, in the United States, George Bush was responsible for that big fucking mess.
Yeah.
And he used... Well, so Bush after 9/11, he did launch attacks in Afghanistan. So people don't talk about it. So he did launch attacks in Afghanistan. There is that famous. It's not as famous as the Iraq speech, but he did launch attacks. And then I think he obviously tried to tie in the war in Iraq too back to Bin Laden, but he also mentioned Saddam mentioned Gaddafi as one of the big pieces to that, which was the big mistake. And it was clearly just an oil thing.
Yeah.
That was the big mistake. Now, like I said, they did retaliate for 9/11, which they should have done, right? That was just too big of a shocker for the country.
Right.
But I think it was in 2003 or 2003, they announced Iraq. I think that's when.
I think Iraq was sooner.
It was later than that, too.
I think it's Desert Storm. Is Operation Desert Storm.
But yeah, but he talked about Gaddafi being one of the people. Now, I don't know what Gaddafi's stuff was with the United States, but all I'm saying is
Desert Storm is a Gulf War. I'm retarded.
Yeah, no. Just search when did Biden
2003 invasion of Iraq.
Yeah.
And then Afghanistan invasion. You can tell we're smart guys.
Well, yeah, Afghanistan was
2001.
So it was right after, right? I think
October.
It was that October, yeah.
So literally a month later.
Which I get that one. I'm not gonna. You have to. Any president, like if you didn't do that at the time, you have no backbone, right? Like I go back to Gandhi, the only person who won't pick up a gun and cut calories, but so he had that. So the one in 2003 was the detrimental one, and I think his goal there was he wanted to kill Gaddafi. And I don't know what Gaddafi did, if there was any war there, or if he did anything to any U.S. civilians or something like that. So I don't want to be quoted and be like, I support Gaddafi. I'm not a TikToker.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is he completely destabilized Libya.
Well, it's a pattern that is repeated throughout history where, like, if there's someone bad who's in power and they have like total control of everything, if you cut the head off the snake, like the rest of it doesn't just magically become good. Like there's a period where it's really bad, and if the right people aren't in place, and it's like And another thing we do is like we try to like install all our own shit, you know, instead of just like it's not our country, you know what I mean? But it's
Well,
like
we're not installing. We didn't go there with the purpose to install anything. We went there with the purpose just to destabilize. That's it. We didn't
right.
have
That's
any.
what I'm saying.
But we
like,
didn't try to put anybody else there in power. There was
Well, that's-
nothing except that we wanted to have Gaddafi killed.
Our presence in the region, like more generally, like we were there for 20 fucking years.
Yeah, and I think it was I think it was literally just to create. And look, the founder of ISIS, his name was Ayman al-Baghdadi. He's dead now. He was in Guantanamo. Was it like not Guantanamo? Is it Guantanamo Bay?
Yes.
He was in Guantanamo Bay. He got released, and then he created ISIS.
Right.
That's a way, I guess you can say, the U.S. wants to put people in power. If you want to get really, if you want to have a real big conspiracy about that.
Well, no, it's not even it's just U.S. foreign policy is like, since the Cold War is what we did is there were countries with governments who we didn't like in strategic places, right? Mm-hmm. And we got the leaders deposed, and our guy, whoever it was, especially like with the whole communist thing in the Cold War, like our guy, we got our guy in there because it was like, it's like a war of ideas is what they call it. You know, it's like the tagline they give it, but it's like they want our guy in there or our guys in there. Or like in Iraq, a lot of it, why we were there for so long, is like we were training their military with our people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I see what
you're creating relationships. It's like you're trying to control things.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying there.
It's not like we're putting a Bush as the new president of Iraq,
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like we're trying to influence everything.
So
for sure.
So like that's the question for me is like,
which is what armed Al Qaeda, by the way.
Yeah, or it created ISIS. That's how ISIS was created.
Right. It was that too. But like back in the 90s with Bush Senior, but George W.'s dad, when we were in, it was the Gulf War.
Yeah.
All our weapons and shit down there, we trained all these people. Like we trained Osama Bin Laden.
Yeah. Wow. That's wild. No, but I was saying, so with ISIS, Ayman al-Baghdadi, he was in Guantanamo Bay for years. And they released him, and he creates ISIS.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, clearly, like, our government can't be that fucking stupid. There was not, like, fucking chips in this guy's brain, right? They probably knew he had that plan. And, like, I mean, if you look at what the horrible things ISIS does, even within their own country, like, in the United States, like, you don't see many terror attacks, and there's like, I did this. You see people, like, be like, yeah, I support, like, crazy nutcases, be like, yeah, I support ISIS. But a lot of the terror attacks, they're not done in the United States, at least, they're not done. Most of ISIS's work is done within the Middle East.
Yeah.
They're just bombing. So I guess, like, yeah, indirectly, that's what the United States' job is to do. But their whole entire thing is they just want to fucking destabilize and then hope, like, a democratic uprising begins or something like that, where they will naturally select their newest leaders.
I don't think in a lot of cases that they are not influencing what happens after or trying to. Like it's very, like, they're doing shit like intelligence communities, and like this is like it's documented. Like there's, I forget what they call it, but it's like a CIA thing. Like it's like known that like they like to get people in once hostile governments to be U.S. friendly, just so we're creating allies, right?
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So like it's like over time, like through like in the 60s and 70s, like it was through South America.
Yeah.
Like all those countries were communist and shit, and like there were a lot of guys like killing their citizens and stuff, and so we got them all out of power, and then like made sure pro-democratic people were installed down there to like, so we didn't have, so shit like the Cuban Missile Crisis wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. So the countries that are probably next on the United States list.
Middle East, yeah.
Yeah, or countries that they want to destabilize. Everything in the Middle East, probably.
Middle East.
North Korea.
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know how much of a threat.
They're a threat because of Russia and China.
Right. It's like, I think like Taiwan's important. I think Taiwan's probably more important, like just from a geopolitical sense.
Unless you're John Cena.
Yeah. What's the Taiwan thing's going to be weird. Israel, Taiwan, and then like Eastern Europe, like Ukraine area.
Well, Palestine with the United States would probably low-key want to destabilize.
I mean, yeah, I think it's already pretty fucked right now, honestly.
Which is a bummer.
Yeah.
It's a lot of innocent people. Not picking a side, just saying I don't want innocent people to get hurt.
Right. There's too much war right now. And it's weird that that's a controversial thing to say.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we shouldn't be fighting wars. And it's like, oh, you hate whatever. It's like, no. I just like people being alive.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's the Palestine. So the whole China, it's actually even why Russia, they didn't collude with him, but they did interfere. That was proven that they tried to interfere with the election.
Right,
Not in what do you call it? Not in parallel with Trump. But they did try to interfere with the election, and it was because Trump threatened to pull out of NATO, and he did it that just like more of like is like how Trump's like so grandiose and like these countries are not paying for their fucking they're paying for their part. The U.S. is paying for their part. It's the big reason why. So Russia and China, if there was a World War III, Russia, China, and North Korea would probably be on one side, and then it would be NATO versus those three, right? And that's the big, and that's why we were in Ukraine for so long. Now I don't think Ukraine is actually a NATO country, but I guess there's probably like all these like little fine details in the contract where we have to go out and support them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ukraine is not. It says they reinstated.
All right, so then they are. So I mean, that's the reason why we're fucking blowing all that money in Ukraine.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know, man. There's too many wars. It's a little depressing. You want to let's talk about something a little bit lighter right now. Did you see Snoop Dogg's quitting smoke?
That's probably a marketing ploy, ready to, what do you call it? He's probably going to, like, drop a movie or some shit like that.
He probably already has a strand of weed, right?
Yeah, Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, he's got to.
Yeah, for sure. I know Wiz Khalifa does.
Yeah. Like, I bet you they make so much money off that. But, like, just imagine if he actually did, there's no way he actually is. But, like, with just how much that guy smokes, just, like, the fucking anxiety attacks he would have, just, like, all that's out of your brain like instantly, you know what I mean?
I like the post that he made with that too. He's like, please respect my privacy during this time. I'm like, bro, what are we doing here, dude?
This is crazy. Well, it's interesting because he said he's quitting smoke, right?
Yeah.
What if it's just like he's like, I just meant like beefing with people.
Well, he doesn't beef with no one.
I don't want that smoke. That's what I'm saying. Like, what if he's just like, I'm not beefing with anybody?
No, I think he meant weed, but I think this is just a marketing.
100%.
This is just a marketing ploy.
Bro, Snoop Dogg quitting weed is like Draymond not kicking anyone in the balls anymore.
We're just choking out Rudy Gobert. That was a classic too.
I love it. I just that's why basketball sucks. Is like we finally get something cool and everyone's like, this is reprehensible behavior. You can't do this in a fucking society we live in. It's bullshit. Everyone's suspend them 10 games. Like, eat shit.
Even speaking of rappers from the East versus West Coast beef, even Diddy, he was in the news today. They so we were chatting about it, when we were chilling in bed yesterday.
Yep.
Not gay, by the way. So yeah, Diddy was getting sued for allegedly like some horrific things he did to this woman, and now the woman is, I guess, pulling back the lawsuit and saying,
no way.
Yeah, and they're gonna discuss this internally.
She's gonna get paid.
Yeah. So now, apparently she got offered a lot of money.
She turned down a lot of money, right?
Well, that's what I saw, that she turned down a bunch of money, and now she's pulling it. Now they're going to discuss internally.
What if that was like a negotiation tactic? It was like, what if Diddy leaked? So Diddy's people leaked. She turned out, because like they can't get a hold of her. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, our fucking legal team is like. So Diddy leaks, like she turned down 8 figures. And then she sees that. She's like, 8 figures? Fuck. What's up? What's up, Diddy?
Yeah, well, the NYPD also said they didn't receive any reports of that type of stuff.
When you say that type of stuff, do you mean bribes? Or do you mean
No, of the actual crimes.
Okay.
They said they never seen those reports, and I don't know. It's very messy. Diddy's damn near the fucking Godfather, it seems like. But he did try to blow up Kid Cudi's car. Apparently, that's true.
That's hilarious. Diddy's apparently so. I found the podcast where they said this. It was on Tom Segura's podcast, and there was a rapper that came on. I don't know his name, but he was saying like, Diddy is like, you don't fuck with Diddy because like all his crew are still like gangbangers, and he's still like in those, because a lot of those guys who like start there like kind of make some money and like get away from that because it's violent and like not good. Like Diddy is still like in that a little bit, and like the guys, and so like when he was in the Joker thing and like some guy was talking shit to him, the rapper who was watching the video was like concerned because he's like, one of these guys could really hurt the guy talking shit to Diddy because like this is a violent crew.
Yeah. Well, Diddy probably, allegedly, and probably, if I had to guess, put the hit out on Pac.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, well, someone got arrested for Pac's murder recently.
I saw that.
He would go on to Vlad TV and just spill his heart out.
Has Diddy been around that long?
Dude, Diddy was it was his crew that was beefing with the West Coast. It was Suge Knight versus Diddy's crew.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's just I just don't, you don't think of him like that because he's still around and the rest of those guys aren't, you know?
Yeah, so it was Suge Knight's in prison right now for running someone over with a car.
Exactly.
So Suge Knight's crew was Snoop, Pac, Dre, pretty much the whole West Coast.
Yeah.
And then Diddy was the bad boy, so it was Biggie. It was Biggie. Nas and Hove weren't in there. It was just Biggie and just like, yeah, it was just those two. But yeah.
Wasn't Mobb Deep? Weren't they a part
Yeah,
of
they were a part of that, yeah.
Shout out. Dude, so do you know who Immortal Technique is?
No.
So he's like from that era, kind of underground, I guess. But so I have a good buddy from college, and he's like loves underground 90s rap. Like that's his thing. He knows a ton about it. So this guy, Immortal Technique, was coming to play a show in what's the one? It's a beach in that area. Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
He played a show in Santa Cruz for like 200 people.
Right?
And we got tickets, and he was like, I want to go with you. Or was like, do you want to come with me, sort of thing. I got no one else. I was like, sure, I've never heard of this guy, but I'll go check him out. He's actually really good, like really good. But he's also a lunatic. So he gets up on stage, and he's got like body armor on, like Kevlar. And also, me and my buddy are the only two white guys in this place, and we're like, and they're a bunch of Latinos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they're all short,
yeah.
and so we're like both 6'2", 6'1", and so we're like a head above everyone else, and we're like pretty close to the front, and there's only like 200 people, so he's looking at us the whole time, like, fuck you two, you don't belong here, and we're like feeling the pressure, right? And he like hates the police, so at one point he's like, when I say fuck, you say cops, fuck. And we just started going nuts. We're like, cops. Even though I love cops, one of my best buddies was a cop at the time. Like, we're just bought in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so my buddy was a fan of his, and he was like, and so after the show, because it was a small show, he's like, Immortal Technique stayed after and was signing stuff for people. And there's a whole line. And he's like, you mind if I get my thing signed or whatever? And I was like, no, dude, like, I'll wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's in line. And everyone in line, he's dapping him up, you know. He's like, hey, how's your mother? Like, doing the whole thing. He's like, oh, great. And then my buddy gets up there and just stone cold. He's like, he just puts his hand out and he's like, give me the thing. Signs it, gives it to him, doesn't say a fucking word. And my buddy walks over like he just got spit on or something. And I'm like, so how'd that go? He's like, he does not like me. He does not like white people at all.
It's like the Key and Peele thing with Obama,
right.
The handshake.
It was like, but it was disdain.
Yeah.
It was like he did not. So shout out to Immortal Technique. It was a great show. Like I was super entertained. He was really good. He's got some good songs.
Funny.
But he did not like my buddy.
Yeah.
He did not like that we were there. It was pretty funny.
Everyone
in the crowd was cool.
Yeah, white on white crime.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're like at an hour 20 at this point.
Probably like an hour 10, I would assume.
This is in the bottom, right?
We started a little, hour 10.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we could just wrap this up then.
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
All right. Yeah, next week, expect, I guess that's all we got. Next week, expect something cool to kind of happen. If you are our hater and you want to come on, we can call you in. we'd love to have you chat with us for 10 minutes. You don't get the whole podcast, but anyone else from India who wants to smoke, please hop on. But anyway,
Snoop Dogg too. We'd love to ask you about your.
We're not there yet. We're at
Just gotta put it out there, baby.
Our 194 subscribers. We're not. We're almost at 200.
What if what if he sees us? He's like, I want to help these guys out.
Maybe, yeah.
We could get the Bobby treatment.
The Bobby Lee treatment. That's funny. All right. Well, anyways, we're gonna cut the episode there. A little bit more deeper. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. You make sure if you guys are new here to like and subscribe. Comment your least favorite country in the world and say why. Follow the personal Instagram. Leave us a bunch of hate comments. We enjoy reading those. Anyway, anything else?
No, I'm all good.
All right, sounds good. All right, peace.